Fedhasa wants, of course, the state of disaster to be declared over in the State of the Nation address. Rosemary, lots of arguments being made around this. Do you reckon it's time?
Mangani, we definitely need to lift the state of disaster. It allows government to overreach and make decisions with no consultations and discussions. So, for example, in hospitality and tourism, just on a Sunday night at 8 o'clock, we can no longer trade or can no longer sell a very important part of our business, which might be alcohol, or we can no longer accept visitors from other provinces. All of that creates tremendous uncertainty. And what tourism and hospitality needs in order to survive, let alone thrive, is certainty. And that is one of the reasons why we really do need to lift the state of disaster.
We know, of course, that the hospitality sector has been absolutely decimated because of the restrictions of the last couple of years. Where are the opportunities, if you were to get your wish, where are the opportunities for the sector, the low-hanging fruit, if you will, to start recovery? Well,
hopefully, if we remove the state of disaster, this would make government relook at all of the rules that are currently still in. And there are lots of rules still for hospitality. So things like we can only operate within 50% of our occupancy of the restaurant, for example, or venue, if there's not 1.5 meter space between guests. We could remove that. We could remove the fact that we've got to take people's addresses and details when they actually come into our venues. We could remove the temperature taking. The PCR tests are a major deterrent to hospitality, international hospitality in South Africa, and they're just so impractical. So an example would be if you're a tourist, either international or local, you leave South Africa, you go to Botswana for a 2 or 3 day, you've got to get a PCR test before you come back. How are you going to do that in a lodge in some beautiful remote place? The same with our cruise liners. You're on a 3-day trip to Mozambique or wherever the case is. How are you going to get a PCR test within 3 days? We really need these lifted so that tourism and hospitality can do exactly what it does beautifully, and that's create lots of jobs and help the economy.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions,
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.